टुडेज़ माय टॉपिक इज़ टी टेस्ट। आज का हमारा टॉपिक रहेगा टी टेस्ट क्या होता है रिसर्च में। तो टी टेस्ट यूजिंग सेलेक्टेड नॉन पैरामेट्रिक टी टेस्ट यूजिंग सेलेक्टेड नॉन पैरामेट्रिक एंड अ पैरामेट्रिक स्टैटिस्टिकल टेस्ट और टू सैम्पल्स केसेस। ठीक है, टू सैम्पल्स केसेस में हम टी टेस्ट का यूज़ करते हैं। द टी टेस्ट statics is used to test differences in the means of two groups, right? Two groups. The grouping variable is a categorical and data for the dependent variables is interval scaled. The t-statist is used to test differences in the means of the two groups. The grouping variables is a categorical and the data for the dependent variables interval scaled. The following table shows alternative statistical techniques that can be used to analyze this type of data when different levels of a measurement are available. The T distributions was developed by W.S. Ghost 1908, यानी कि जो इनका डेवलप्ड किया W.S. Ghost ने 1908 में। As an employee of the Guinness of Brewery in Dublin, Ghost was not permitted to publish research finding in his own name and hence penned the pseudonymous students that T distributions as it was first designated has been known under a variety of names including the students distributions and students T distributions, right? The T distributions reevaluations statics and the ability to work with small samples. Prior to this time, statistical work was based largely on the value of Z, which was used to designate a point on the normal distribution where populations parameters were known. The Z value is the deviations of the sample. Deviation of the sample mean from the mean of the population and is expressed in terms of variance within a normally distributed population. The purpose of the Z value is to express the amount of deviations between the sample mean and the population mean and the permit the making of inferences as to whether the sample mean belongs to the population in questions. The mean and variance characteristics of the population to which we desire to make increases are rarely known. This states of perfect knowledge is the assumptions. Perfect knowledge is the assumptions made by the Z test, and in actual use is difficult to justify. The T statistic does not require the population's variance informations needed for the Z test, but instead uses the sample variance and sample standard deviation. The T distributions is a symmetrical about the mean and is approximately normal. It is a centered the population's mean of 0 and for large sample has a variance is equal to 1. The central limit theorem tells us that the sampling distributions of all possible sample means x approximates normality as the size of the samples increases. This is true even when the population is not normally distributed. that t distributions rapidly approaches the shape of a normal distribution as a sample size increases. The t distribution is considered normal when n is equal to 30. The t distribution is used to make inferences concerning the difference between the two populations. The specific statistical theory used related to the distribution of differences between the two sets of independent samples means the sampling distribution of 1 into 2, right? Mathematical computations of the t-test, statistical analysis programs computed t-statistic and associated probability levels for the equality of the means of two groups based on pooled and separate variance estimates. And F statistics and associated probabilities level for the equality of a group variance is also computed. Groups may be defined by specifying codes to be included. Several dependent variables may often be analyzed concurrently. Paired comparisons, t ratios may be obtained through the use of if and record commands. Typical t-test computations included f ratio of variance, second t-value based on a pooled variance estimate, t-value based on a separate variance estimate, two-tailed probability levels of each t, and for the f means, standard deviations, standard error of the means, number of observation including computing 5 to 7 above. In computing the variance, it is necessary to pool variance estimates when for the two groups sample sizes are unequal and a variance are unequal. In case of a pooling, we pool the points estimate by simple average. Okay, each t values, f values, and a corresponding probability level for a between categories comparisons are computed for each variables. T-test is very important in research. So my topic is closed here. Okay, thank you.